Hello, please welcome to the part 2 of I Will Guide You. And Jonathan's son arose and went to David into the woods and strengthened his hand in God, and said unto him, Fear not, for the hand of my father shall not find thee, and thou shalt be king over Israel, and I shall be next unto thee, and that I also saw my father knoweth. And they two made a covenant before the Lord, and David abode in the woods, and Jonathan went to his house. May you find a friend like Jonathan. May you find. Hello, please welcome to the commentary. I'm not doing all from verse 1 to 8. I will just take the main ones which I use. So they brought this plea for help to David and not King Saul, because Saul was not fulfilling his role as a king over Israel. It was Saul's job to protect Keilah and Saul's job to fight Philistine, but Saul wasn't doing his job, and the Lord called David to do it. God loves his people too much to let them suffer under an unfaithful king. If Saul wasn't up to the task, God would rise up a man who was, and David was the one. God directed David to act like a king, even if he was not yet the king. Therefore, David inquired of the Lord. This showed David's wisdom and godliness. Some might have immediately said, This isn't my responsibility. Let Saul deal with it. Others have immediately said, Let's go confess this problem. Either course was foolish, but David was wise because he inquired from the Lord. Go and what? Go and attack the Philistine. Onward. So David went and what? Fought with the Philistines, and he won the war. David inquired once again. Wisely David took the word from his men into account. He wrestled with their advice and saw that in many ways it made a lot of sense. At the same time, he knew that it wasn't an issue that he had to be decided before the Lord. Arise, go down to what? Keilah, for I will deliver the Philistines into your hands. He asked the Lord, and the Lord again gave him that. Yes, you are going to win the war. I will skip it. There's a lot of things on. Let's read this where Saul says the Lord has delivered David into God's hands, David into his hand. Saul thought that the Lord blessed him and gave him victory over David. It was not true that God led David to Keilah. It was true that this exposed David to Saul's attack, but there was not true that the Lord has delivered him into his hand. No, God did not do that. Wherever he says something, then he's going to lie, because he's not a man that he will say something and he will lie. He is not like that. He doesn't. So in this one, Jonathan, David's son, Saul's son encouraged what? Verse 18, he encouraged David that you shouldn't be afraid. My father knows that you are going to be a king, but yet still he wants to fight you. So because of their great friendship, David and Jonathan looked forward to the day when David would be a king, and Jonathan will support and help him. It will never come to pass, because Jonathan will die before David become king. Jonathan's encouragement was a mix of divine promises, an expression of hope and desire. Even my father knows that. Saul knows that David will be the next king that the Lord has ordained, yet he fought against the will of God with everything he had. So don't think that because you have a calling or because you are the rightful owner, nobody like you won't have any troubles. No. Even though they know that this is for you, they're going to fight you. The two men made a covenant. David and Jonathan already made a covenant in 1 Samuel 18, verse 3 and 20 and verse 16. Say, but now they confirm it again, renewing or what? Confirming a covenant does not make previous covenant less precious. It makes it more precious and what? Value. This was the last time David and Jonathan saw each other on earth, and their relationship was still confirmed in a covenant. In a covenant. Wow, 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 wow. This is very powerful. Whereby, I mean, why I like this, I like the relationship between Jonathan and David, because Jonathan could have said, my father is the king, why should I allow you to come and overthrow my father and you become a king? He knew that even though his father was the king, he knew that David was the rightful owner of the throne. And you can't fight God. One thing is that you cannot fight God. You are going to lose. Once a person stands for God and you choose to fight that person, you are in trouble. You are in big trouble. Once that person is right with God and you choose to fight that person, you are in trouble. If God says, this is where I'm putting this person, and you choose to fight that person, you are in big trouble. But my prayer for you today is that the Lord will guide you in every steps of your way, every direction that you are going to take. He is going to guide you. And he is going to what? Deliver you from your enemies. An enemy like Saul. And you find a friend like Jonathan. You find a friend who will say that this is evil. Because this world, we don't consider evil good as good. We consider evil as good. But how many of us are willing to stand for the truth and say, this is evil? I will not associate myself with any evil. I will not. Jonathan chose to do the right thing. Even though he died, his what? Is it, I don't know whether it was his child or his child. I don't know. I don't want to lie. But when David wanted to show favor, he went into the house of Saul, and he found a crippled child, and he said, this is the only favor I can show. Bring him to my table. Let him join me. Come, bring him to the king, him or her, I don't remember, to the king's table, and let him dine with me. Because his father I don't know whether it's the father. I've forgotten. I've read it. I read it, but I've forgotten, honestly. But he said, like, I have to do good because of Jonathan. May somebody do you good. May I've enjoyed a lot of good because of my great-grandfather. A lot of good because of him. People say, hey, are you Papa Daniel's grand? Then they will give it to you. They will just give it to you because of my great-grandfather. So may somebody favor you because of your family member who has done good. Thank you so much for watching me. I pray that God should keep you today. God should keep you this week. God should keep you this month. Enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy the rest of the week. Enjoy the rest of the month. And enjoy the rest of the year. And until we meet again, shalom. Know that God loves you and he wants the best for you. And I love you. The peace of the Lord be with you and your entire household. Love you all. Spread the love.